northwestern part of South Africa consists mainly of vast, barren plains. It is a desolate, arid countryside where the overwhelming impressions are of space, peace, and silence. During the hot summer months, a heat shimmer dancing on the horizon is often the only perceptible movement. In winter, when the dry grasses have shaken their overnight frost, from their slender forms the breezes bend their slim stalks in a gentle play. Through this vastness, a railway line unobtrusively wends its way from the export harbour of Saldanha to the open-cast iron ore mine at Sishen, 861 kilometres inland. In this region, the line does not intrude. It simply blends into the landscape. It has become part of an area where reverie and sleep come easily. On August the 26th and 27th, 1989, this tranquility was shattered. The senses reeled under a cacophony of sound which reverberated amongst the hills. South African transport services attempted to break the world record for the longest and heaviest train, the largest number of wagons in a train, the longest heavy haul run, and the highest average speed over the distance. On and on the monstrous train snaked its ponderous way through the rugged terrain. The line has a ruling gradient of respectively 1 in 250 and 1 in 100 in the loaded and empty directions. The maximum curve radius is 1,000 meters, which made it ideal for the record attempt. The heavy haul know-how, based on thorough research into train handling and train action phenomena, was being put to the test. Expertise developed for 200-wagon, 20,800-ton trains on the Richards Bay-Ermelo line was used to keep longitudinal dynamic forces within extremely low values. During a shakedown run, a South African Transport Service train dynamics instrumentation vehicle was used to investigate train action phenomena. This vehicle used a fiber optic digital telemetry system to acquire data from selected points over the entire length of the train. The train consisted of 5 Class 9E locomotives with a mass of 166.3 tons each, 470 type CR5 wagons, again 4 Class 9E locomotives, another 190 type CR5 wagons, seven Class 37 diesel locomotives with a mass of 125 tons, a private coach, a tank wagon with an initial mass of 60 tons, and finally a container wagon. This adds up to a gross train mass of 70,847 tons and a total train length of 7.3 kilometers. Motive power was supplied by the 9 Class 9E locomotives built by GEC and designed exclusively for the 50 kilovolt alternating current supply of this line. They were divided into two consists of 5 and 4 locomotives each. Only 7 were utilized simultaneously for traction. The ratio between head-end and in-train power was varied according to requirements depending on the gradient conditions. Because the overhead supply system cannot support a gross train mass in excess of 70,000 tons, the 2 electric locomotive consists had to be assisted by a 3rd diesel locomotive consist. The diesel locomotives used on the train were Class 37 built by General Motors. These 16-cylinder 2,340 kilovolt locomotives have a rated tractive effort of 245 kilonewtons at 26 kilometers an hour and a maximum dynamic braking effort of 216 kilonewtons at 28 kilometers an hour. The projected fuel consumption of the diesel locomotives exceeded their 6,230-litre tank capacity. A fuel tank wagon was therefore hauled behind the diesel locomotive consist to enable refueling in motion. Every locomotive consist was separately manned and controlled. The three drivers coordinated their actions via a radio communications link. Automatic brake applications and releases were made from driver's brake valves on the lead locomotives of both electric consists. Synchronization was accomplished by voice radio. The 660 wagons were arranged in semi-permanent pairs. Each wagon weighed 18.5 tons and carried a load of 85 metric tons, which gives a gross mass of 103.5 tons per wagon. They are fitted with high-speed Mark II or Mark V bogies and Type F couplers. Because of the uneven terrain, the gradients, the exorbitant weight and length of the train, combined with the distance to be travelled, it was thought that the couplings may snap. The high standard of skill of the drivers, combined with their close cooperation and communication at all times, proved that this concern was unfounded. With unfailing sureness, the wheels clatter along the seemingly endless line. Often the front and rear ends of the cumbersome train cannot be seen as she rolls past a certain point. Dusk falls and night sets in. Hours blend into each other. Time becomes an abstract concept. Fatigue starts setting in, and yet the monster moves ever forward. At a steady pace, she rumbles through the veldt, maintaining an average speed of 37.98 kilometers an hour. On the afternoon of August the 27th, the journey comes to an end. Saldanha has been reached 22 hours and 40 minutes after leaving Sishen. Every difficulty has been overcome, every record has been smashed. The 70,847 tons, which was hauled over a distance of 861 kilometers, came to rest. It is perhaps fitting that this world beater was run on the same line which initiated the founding of the International Heavy Haul Association. Once again, the South African Transport Services personnel proved to be world leaders in their field. Peace once again falls upon the countryside and blankets it in silence. The sound of the wind and the minuscule movement of small living creatures blend to create the harmony inherent to the plains. Never again will a train of this magnitude pass over this land. Only the regular train, bearing its rich ore harvest from the bowels of the earth, will pass here. This train no longer disturbs the area. It has become too well known, part of the daily routine, part of the life of these people and their environment. But those who saw it will remember and retell the story of the monster train, the record breaker.